everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back to Yarn Purpose. It's time for another coffee catch-up. Hey everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back to Yarn Purpose. I'm excited to be back with another coffee catch-up for you guys today. I'm here with my coffee. Today's coffee is iced coffee with almond milk. Having just recently gotten back from Rhinebeck, just not a lot of food in the house. Options were limited. Almond milk it is. Although I do like almond milk. I just don't typically go for it in my coffee, but it's good for today. So I'm just going to catch you up on everything that's been going on in life. I've got some whips. Don't really have any acquisitions because you may have seen my Rhinebeck haul yesterday. So all of my Rhinebeck yarn is in the Rhinebeck haul from yesterday. I do have an FO to show you, and then I will catch you up on some work things. So first, let's just get into life admin stuff, I guess. I did, like I said, go to Rhinebeck. I did a full Rhinebeck recap and haul in yesterday's video, so I just encourage you to go check that out. I was gone for almost a week, so there was a lot going on. So I thought combining all the Rhinebeck stuff into this video too was going to be a little long. I personally do like watching long videos on YouTube, but I know that not everybody does. So anyway, if you want to know about my Rhinebeck trip, make sure you check out the last video. That has been the major life thing going on. Other than that, it's pretty much just been standard work, coffee, knitting, you know, the usual. Okay, so I guess I'm just going to go ahead and get right into FOs, finished objects. So while at Rhinebeck, I went to Webb's, which I mentioned yesterday, and I bought yarn. And then I knit the socks while at Rhinebeck Weekend of Fun. So these are my finished socks that I knit. I started them on, we went to Webb's on Thursday. I started them on Thursday and I finished them on Saturday, I think. I'm pretty sure. So let's see. I made sure to bring the tag over. This yarn is the Regia Design Line 6-ply. It's the Arne and Carlos like colorways. And the colorway is 03653. I think if you went onto the Webb's website, there is actually a name for the color, but this just lists a number. So anyway, these are my socks. I didn't worry about matching them up. I feel like with the colors and like the way they have like that sort of fake Fair Isle in there, I don't normally worry too much about my socks matching anyway, but this was a case where I didn't really feel like I needed to worry about it. So they don't like line up or anything, but I feel like you really can't even tell. So yeah, so this is actually more like a sport weight yarn. So I knit these on a US size 2. I did them Magick loop. I actually followed my Sweet and Simple sock pattern that I did for those top-down sock knitting videos that I did a few months back. So I just used that pattern. So it's just top down with a German short row heel. Easy, easy. I used 56 stitches since it was a sport weight yarn. So very, very cute. So while at Rhinebeck, we do a little sock knitting contest to see who we buy the yarn at Webb's, and then we see who can knit the socks the fastest. I was in third place, and I was way behind everybody. Like the other two that finished theirs really fast. First and second place, they finished theirs super fast, and then I was way behind in third. But I did finish them. So yeah, those are the socks. So that's really the only thing I have finished. Yeah, that is the only thing I have finished, because now I'll get into whips. My Izumi sweater that I was going to wear for Rhinebeck had a disaster of epic proportions, and I've just now finally, I think, gotten over it. So I showed you my Izumi sweater in the last coffee catch-up, and things were going great. Everything was fine. I might have even been on a sleeve. And I finished it, and I blocked it, and when I blocked it, I really thought, this sweater looks awfully large. But you know, you tell yourself everything's okay, right? You tell yourself it'll block right out. Well, I blocked this thing like so huge. So my sweater came out very big, and so the body of the sweater is designed to have positive ease. And so the fact that the body of the sweater was a little bigger than what I intended. It still was fine. I felt it looked fine. I mean, I asked my husband's opinion, but I mean, you know, like, he's always going to tell me it's like fine. But I mean, so like, but I really did feel like the body of the sweater, even though it was a little more oversized than maybe what I was intending, was fine. The sleeves were way too long. I mean, it was like comical how long the sleeves came out. So I decided that I was going to redo the sleeves. Like, when all of this happened, I still had about a week or so before Rhinebeck, and I thought, well, it's going to be way less knitting because they came out so long. Like, I had this whole plan. Well, I had alternated skeins on the sleeves because I was using the hand-dyed yarn, the Stunning String yarn. And so even though the skeins did look very close, I was alternating skeins. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be such a pain to rip this out. And I already blocked it. The ends were already woven in. I mean, this was just, you guys know where this story is going, like disaster struck. So I decided that I had enough yarn. I was pretty sure I had enough yarn that I didn't need to reuse the yarn from the original sleeves, because I always buy one full extra skein than what I need. And so I decided that I was going to cut the sleeves off and just unravel the last little bit. And then the way you pick it up, like, you just pick up like off like the side, like, it's just like you're just picking up like off the fabric. There's no live stitches. So I was like, it's fine. I'm just gonna cut the sleeves off. I'll rip out those last inch because I don't want to cut too close to the sweater. And then I'll pick up my stitches, be good to go. Had my whole plan. Well, because I had woven in the ends, kind of under the arm where I had woven in, like, I had like a little hole or something. So I kind of like, you know, I was like doing the end, like real, like kind of get my hole seamed up. I needed to cut a little close to the sweater. And so, you know what happens next. You guys know. I cut into the body of my sweater right there. Oh God, I'm getting emotional just now. I mean, you know, knitting's my job. I don't cry over my knitting a lot. There were tears. There were tears when I cut into the body of my Izumi sweater. And so I'm going to fix it. And here's the thing. I feel like I can fix it. I can just like stitch those, cut stitches together. It will be fine. I will knit my sleeves. It will be fine. But where I started just to get a little bit sad was I just feel like you go to Rhinebeck, and this is all just in my head. Nobody would have even noticed. Okay. Like, this is just me being crazy. I just felt like I'm going to go to Rhinebeck with the sweater that, because it was kind of under the arm, but it was a little more towards the back, so it was probably going to be visible, that I had to like kind of like like basically staple back together to like get it to work, because I like ruined it. And I just felt like I didn't want to go to Rhinebeck and go with the sweater that like wasn't perfect. And I know that's just in my head. Okay, I know. And I will fix it and I will wear it and it will be beautiful. But I just could not bring myself to fix it before Rhinebeck. It was so sad. I'm getting sad right now. You can probably tell talking about it. But so that's my Izumi sweater. So I have like a body of a sweater, but no sleeves for that. So I'm going to work up to fixing that eventually. But then I got a crazy idea, which didn't even pan out. So then I decided I still really wanted a Rhinebeck sweater. And so I was like, can I knit? At this point, I think I had about 6 days before I was leaving on my trip. And like I talked about in the haul, our trip was a little bit long. So I had about 6 days or so to try to like knit a whole nother sweater. So then I just decided to try. I failed on trying to knit a sweater in 6 days when, you know, I had work and stuff going on. But, you know, I made a solid attempt. And so I had bought at Stitches Midwest. I feel like this episode you're really just seeing like a true glimpse into my life and how crazy I really am. So at Stitches Midwest, I had bought a Comfort Fade Cardi kit from Neighborhood Fiber Co. And my plan for it was that I was actually going to knit a skirt with it. And I was going to design a skirt that did like the fade thing. And I bought the kit so that like the yarn already all went together. Well, then I just decided maybe I could just knit a Comfort Fade Cardi by Andrea Mowry out of that yarn, and then I'll just worry about the skirt later. So anyway, I got the Comfort Fade Cardi pattern. I might have already had the Comfort Fade Cardi pattern. I can't remember. And then I tried to knit myself a Comfort Fade Cardi in 6 days, which I did not. It was a good effort on my part, but I didn't make it. I've got like about maybe 2 or 3 rows left on the bottom. So this is now, my next whip is my emergency Rhinebeck sweater that I didn't even finish. Oh my God. Just because knitting is my job doesn't mean that I'm not just a total hot mess when it comes to some of these things. You know, I do not have it together sometimes, but anyway. So this yarn is, like I said, Neighborhood Fiber Co. So the way the kit, like, was designed with, like, there's 4 colors, color A, B, C, D. I liked it. So it was going to go from red to the variegated to gray to, like, this is like a charcoal grayish black. So it was going to go red, variegated, light gray, dark gray. But I just kind of felt like if I was going from solid light gray to solid dark gray, when you get to the fade part, it just was going to look like a little bit more like striped versus fade. So I decided to, after I did the light gray, I like faded with the variegated and just did like a couple rows of variegated and then faded with the variegated into the dark so that it was just like a little bit more like of a true fade versus being like a stripe. So I love the way that turned out. And I realized that by doing that, I'm taking a risk in terms of when I do the sleeves and the collar, like how much yarn, I don't know like what my yarn situation is going to be in terms of the variegated, because I did use more of it, but I figure I can always get another skein. This is something where I feel like, you know, if you're just like doing the fade, like I could probably just get another skein later, even if it's hand dyed. And it'd probably be okay, or I'll just kind of change my game plan on the sleeves or the collar. So anyway, that's the Comfort Fade Cardi. I do really want to finish this. I do really now. This was never my original plan to ever knit a Comfort Fade Cardi. I think they're beautiful. It wasn't, I don't want to say it wasn't on my radar. I had seen them, but it wasn't something like I thought I was going to knit. But I have to say, I am like, I didn't, but I almost bought more yarn to make a second one because I was enjoying knitting this so much. And it's the easiest pattern. It's just like basically a top down raglan sweater, but the purl side's going to go to the outside and you do the fade. And like the fade, even though it's kind of boring knitting, the fade keeps it going because you're like, oh, I can't wait till I can do these stripes. So anyway, hopefully you'll be seeing that one finished up soon, and hopefully I'll get the courage to sort of deal with the Izumi disaster of 2018. Oh my gosh. So that's where I'm at on sweaters. I haven't shown you guys in a long time, I don't think. I still have my Swancho on the needles. You know, I don't know. I just don't know if I'm like second guessing my color combo now. So that one's just sort of been in timeout in my little ottoman, storage ottoman, just in my living room. But hopefully I'll get back around to that or decide to rip it out and pick a different color combo. So that's where I'm at with sweaters. I'm on a huge sweater kick. In previous years when I went to Rhinebeck, I didn't feel like I was like on such a sweater kick, but this year I don't know, like a ton of new sweater patterns have come out that are like really good. I mean, I guess I'm even knitting like older sweater patterns, but I don't know. I've just been like all of a sudden on a sweater kick, which I've never, in all the years that I have knit, have never been on like a sweater kick. Like, oh, buying sweater quantities of yarn and stuff. That's never been me. So, but it's been kind of fun. It is like, obviously you could see like, this is obviously something I need to like work on as I just knit like sleeves that were like 2 feet too long. You know, so it's good to sort of, I guess, you know, do new things in knitting. I'm always learning, and, you know, maybe I will design a sweater someday. So this is like sort of good practice, sort of like learning construction. I'm seeing what's going right and what's going terribly wrong for me. So yeah, but that's been the sweater kick. The only other whip I really have to show you is these socks, which I started while on my Rhinebeck trip. I actually cast on at the airport on the way on the way to, well, we flew into Boston on the way there. So this yarn here is Nomadic Yarns, and the colorway is Practical Magic. This yarn, I can't remember the exact base, and I don't know if I have the tag. Oh, I do have the tag. I knew it was a fingering weight yarn. So it's Nomadic Yarns. She's on Etsy, and it's the Twisty Socks. So this one is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 400 yards per 100 grams. Colorway is Practical Magic. My tag, it's like it's a little faded because it's been shoved in my bag. So I picked this yarn because when my friends and I go on our Rhinebeck trip, we do like to watch sort of Halloween, witchy type movies, and we watched Practical Magic, the movie, last year, and I knew we were going to watch it this year, so I had to bring the Practical Magic sock yarn to knit. So this is sort of where I'm at here. So what I ended up doing actually is I cast on and did a cuff down sock. But when I got to the point of wanting to do the heel, I was sitting in the back seat of our minivan, well, in the middle seat of the minivan, and we were on the like twisty turny roads that are common around the Rhinebeck, Woodstock, Saugerties area. And I just felt like if I had to concentrate on my knitting to do a heel, it was not going to be good. I was not going to feel good. So I actually just, I don't know if you can even see it. It's this gray right here. I put in some waste yarn on this side and then just kept knitting straight, because the knitting straight I can like just still be looking out the window and I'm not feeling yucky. So then I just basically knit a cuff down sock without a heel. My plan is to do an afterthought heel. So I actually started on this last night, so I'm like halfway through heel. So what I did, I'm on the first one now. I took out my waste yarn, picked up my stitches. I've never done this before, but some of my friends have, so I think it should work. I'm going to do a Fish Lips Kiss heel, which is one of the heels. I usually now do a German short row heel, but I do also like the Fish Lips Kiss heel. So I am going to do a Fish Lips Kiss heel, and then I am going to Kitchener, like after I do the heel, I'm going to have to like Kitchener like half of the sock to the other half of the heel. So it's a lot more Kitchener than just a toe, but I personally love Kitchener stitch anyway. And I've never done a sock this way where I've like done an afterthought heel in this manner. Normally when I put in an afterthought heel in a sock, I do like I just knit it like I knit the toe, where you just like kind of do your like every other row decreases and then every row decreases. And I personally find that that particular heel does not really fit my foot that well. So I'm just trying this method, and if it doesn't work out, well, I'll rip it out and try something else, I guess. But again, Practical Magic colorway from Nomadic Yarns, very Halloween-y. So hopefully I'll get these done in the next day or two so I can wear them on Halloween. I don't think I've ever had Halloween socks before. Like, I've bought Halloween yarn, but I don't know that I've ever actually like finished a pair of Halloween colored socks. I don't think so. I'm gonna be definitely cranking along on these. You'll be probably seeing the finished ones on Instagram soon. So that is works in progress. As far, like I said, as far as acquisitions go, I showed you all the yarn yesterday in the Rhinebeck haul, so I'm not going to show you that all again because it was a lot. It was a lot. And then I think we'll just quickly, I just have like a few little work things to talk about if you are interested, and if you're not, well, I'll see you in the next video. So as far as work things go, I have a new pattern in this is the Winter 2018 Creative Knitting magazine, and I actually marked the page this time so I could find it easily. I have just this very simple hat. It's called the Verder hat. It's knit out of a bulky weight yarn. It's Malabrigo Chunky. The colorway is water green. Oh my gosh, I love that colorway. I have a little bit more of it because I think I only asked for one skein and they sent me two or something, but I'm going to make another hat or something out of it. So that is the hat. It's designed to be an easy pattern, and it's also designed to be a good first project if you're trying to learn how to read a lace chart. So there is a little article that I wrote also with the pattern on like tips on how to read a chart if you are interested. And even if you are, you know, good at charts already, I literally knit this hat in like 2 hours or something. So it's a very, very quick, it's perfect for like gift giving and stuff. So Verder hat, Creative Knitting, Winter 2018. The next thing is that I did show you my top-down shawls book last time, but my copies of my top-down shawls books just arrived. So I get, as the author, I get so many copies sent to me. So I'm definitely going to be doing a few videos. I think there'll be like extra videos on top of my normal videos to talk more about the book, and I definitely will be doing some giveaways for the books and potentially some yarn to make patterns out of the book. So make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel here so that you can stay up to date on that. So I'm very excited. I know I said in my last coffee catch up, I am very excited about my top-down shawls book. It's my favorite book I've ever written. Like, I'm just like so excited that it's almost out for people to have. I think that if you like to knit my other shawl patterns, I think you are going to really, really, really love this book. I'm just so excited. Let's see what else. Oh, I do have one other thing. It's a work project. I do have a couple more shawls that I'm working on for work, but I have to go grab one of them. I will be right back. Okay, so works in progress as far as work shawls go. I'm working on the pattern for November for my Patreon page. So I've talked about this before, but I do patterns every 2 months. You have to be a member of my Patreon page for 2 months in order to get the pattern. But everybody gets to like vote on what they want, and then I try to design something that hopefully makes everybody happy. So this is the start of the November pattern that they come out in like mid-November. So they, patrons asked for like a wrap or wider scarf with, texture and lace. So I've got some seed stitch and some lace. This is also Neighborhood Fiber Co. yarn. I've been on a Neighborhood Fiber Co. kick lately, obviously. This yarn I think I bought at Rhinebeck last year, I think. So yeah, so I'm working on that for my Patreon page. And like I said, I do leave a link below to the Patreon page if you are interested. I do extra videos. So I'm looking forward to finishing that up. And then I did start another shawl. I started this right before I left for Rhinebeck. My friend Heather Zapetti was in town. She's a designer, and I was able to meet up with her, and we went shopping at Firefly, what is it? Firefly Studio? Firefly Fibers. It's in Chicago. I'll leave a link to their website. And so we went to that yarn store, and I picked up some Why Not Fibers yarn. Let's see if I got a tag. I just want to like give you all the information. Let's see here. Maybe? Okay, well I wrote it on my pattern anyway. So it's Why Not Fibers, and the yarn is Soul, like soul of a sock. 100% superwash merino. It's 400 yards. I have colors Smoke and Shadows and Moss. So let me get my pattern put away. So this is what it is. I'm always in the middle of a row whenever I'm showing you guys things, I feel like. But anyway, this is my shawl so far. This is, again, it's going to be a self-published design at some point. And so this is the Smoke and Shadows, the gray, and then the green is the moss, obviously. So I'm actually doing like a little bit of like mosaic. You know, I don't know if there's not a huge contrast between these two colors. I feel like in person it looks a lot better than what maybe it's showing up on the camera. So I'm doing the shawl, I'm doing like some half pie shaping here, and then I'm moving into sort of a wedge shawl shape. So it's like first it's half pie, then it's wedges. So I put a little bit of this like slip stitch mosaic in just to like a few rows. I haven't really incorporated that into any of my patterns. Well, not very often anyway. So I'm working on that. So that's one where it was sort of a last minute decision, wasn't really in my schedule to work on that pattern. I just felt like knitting with the yarn. So I don't know when that pattern will be out. It'll just be, it's out when it's out. And then the last thing, I showed some yarn yesterday that I bought at Rhinebeck, or all the various Rhinebeck events. I bought 4 different yarns to do like a mini shawl collection. So that probably be out, I'm thinking late spring 2019. I haven't done like a self-published ebook in a while, so I think that's what I'm going to do with that. I And yeah, that's pretty much it for work. I have some work that I'm currently doing for Willow Yarns. You know, I've always sort of, there's things always in the works. But yeah, that's pretty much the work update too. So I guess that's really it. That's quite a bit of things I've been working on. And like I said, the sweater kick just, it won't stop. So I've been kind of giving myself like an hour or so a day at least to sort of work on the sweaters versus work on the work knitting. So it's been kind of fun. Like I said, that Comfort Fade Cardi is just like rocking my world right now. I just love it so much. So hopefully maybe I'll even have it done in the next coffee catch up. That would be awesome. Maybe that's a good goal for me. I'm almost done with the body. It's not that much more to go. So maybe that's my goal for next time. So that's it for me for today. If you guys like this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. And if you were at Rhinebeck, I would love to know sort of like what you bought or like what your favorite thing you got or saw there. Just leave me a comment down below and let me know. And if you'd like to see more videos from me, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like, you can turn on the notifications to be notified whenever I upload a new video. And as you guys know, I upload videos most Fridays. So that's it. I hope everybody has a great week, and I will see you again next Friday. Bye.